we're going to discuss about application software, which is software that you use to achieve your task as a user, right? To achieve a real world use task, right? For purpose. Achieve or serve your purpose, meaning you might use it for your assignment or play games and whatever, right? And application software can be divided further, where you can divide it into general purpose application, right, which is something that you can use at home or at the office. Or you can also divide it, you can also say application software can also be divided into tailor-made or business type of applications, right? We'll have a look at this. We'll have a look at this first, right? There are several. The first one being the personal productivity. Now, the personal productivity software, since it's called personal productivity, right, is very much related to the office and home as well, meaning when you do your assignments and etc. And you can also say, in a way, it is related to business application, especially the package software, but we'll get to that later. So what is personal productivity software? We have things like word processing, right? We have things like spreadsheet, right? We have things like database, and etc. Right? So these are all personal productivity software. You can use it to do your assignment, do calculations, publish a book, keep track of your data. For example, where do you keep certain information on your students, what are their marks, are they active in college, right? Do some calculations, accounting, and etc. Publish a book, publish a website or two, right? So we have examples here. For example, we have here word processing, we have Microsoft Word. Right? Spreadsheet, we have Microsoft Excel. Right? For database, we have Microsoft Access. Right? So you can search for these software and learn more about them. Right? Here I'll be using a red pen because here is also using black, and we don't want to confuse ourselves. Desktop publishing, we have Microsoft Publisher, right? And web authoring, we have things like Dreamweaver, right? So do search these things. But basically, these are all for personal productivity, meaning you're actually being productive, you actually create something, right? Not to say that the other software do not create things, but this is especially so, because it's very much related to business software and office type of software. You can see, right? Word processing, like you create reports and do letters and whatnot. Okay, next, we'll skip multimedia graphics first because it will be further discussed later, right? So we'll go to internet applications. Internet applications are things that run on the internet. For example, Google Documents, right? You have your emails, right? You have your voice over IP like Skype, right? You have Microsoft Office Online. So these are things that are, how do I say, not platform exclusive. Meaning to say that, for example, if you're using Microsoft Word in your computer, and you create a file and you give it to your friend who does not have Microsoft Word, then he or she won't be able to open it. Whereas if it's an internet application, anything you create will be able to be opened in another person's computer, right? So it's platform independent, right? As long as everyone has access to internet, they'll be able to open it. So that's the specialty of the internet application. And the last but not least is home and education. Here we're looking at things like encyclopedias, right? Maybe dictionary, personal finance. You want to keep track of like how much you're spending this month and whatnot, and etc. Right? So these are all home education. Of course, your computer games as well, right? Games, these are all under home and education, meaning mostly being used at home. It's a bit weird to be using this in the office now, right? Here you can use it in office. Here it's pretty weird. How you're using personal finance in the office is slightly peculiar, slightly weird, right? Okay, before we go on further, we'll discuss about the business software now. Hopefully you have all of these. Maybe you can write it somewhere or something. Okay, business software or tailor-made software on the other hand are divided into two parts, right? The first one is custom software. Custom software is created or used in really specific markets and you might have to build it up, right? If the software is not yet available in the market. For example, you have things like e-learning. E-learning is a software which is being used only for education business. You don't use it in Alimaju, for example. Or hospital inventory or restaurant inventory, you don't use that in education, right? So these are custom software, specific for specific market, and you might need to build it if the software is not there yet. For example, the case of James Cameron, when he wanted to create an avatar, the blue guy is the avatar, right? He had to create the 3D software specifically for that movie. Of course, it's a rather bad example because it's more like a entertainment kind of software, right? Anyway, but it's for creating entertainment, so it's still a business software. Right. Anyway, next is package software. Package software are the kinds of software that can be used on any kinds of business and it's not weird. Let's say, for example, you can use accounting software. Any kinds of business can use accounting software. Or payroll software. Payroll is like, for example, each month you have to pay each of your workers a certain amount of salary. So it's a bit of a hassle if you have like 200 workers, or each month you have to like put in money for 200 people, which is not very efficient. So you can use a software to help you with that. See, you have a software, and the software will automatically put in salaries for your workers. That is called a payroll software. So maybe we can put that in, right? So package I'll use blue pen. Right? Custom is specified, need to build, right? Whereas the package ones are general and off the shelf usually. Off the shelf means you can just go to shops and you're likely to find them, right? So example here is like e-learning software or software to help you do surgery on someone. So these are all specialized or specified software. Whereas here is like accounting software, right? Or payroll software, right? So tailor-made software or business applications as opposed to general purpose. General purpose you can use in home or office. So the market is wider, right? And you don't have to build it specifically. Whereas tailor-made or business applications, they're specific. It must be for a business, it must be for a certain market or business, right? So the market is there's less market, and to build it, you have to be really specialized. What is this for? So you have to really keep track of what is needed in the market, right? So because of development costs and the narrower market, you don't have a lot of people buying it. This usually costs more compared to that, right? So that is application software, an introduction to application software, and later we'll talk about multimedia graphics in detail. As of now, you just need to know that multimedia graphics are basically all of those like Microsoft Paint, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, Microsoft Windows Movie Maker, Windows Movie Maker, Flash Animator, PowerPoint, for example. Microsoft PowerPoint is technically also a multimedia graphics, where you play with lots of different media, sound, videos, pictures and motion pictures, animations, and etc. Right? Multimedia graphics. So that comes later.